Hi, I'm Libby Stevens, and this is my very first vlog. I've spent the past 23 years of my life battling a driving phobia, and I felt really compelled lately to tell people that I understand how it feels to have this fear and to suffer the humiliation of the way other people treat you because of it. I know how it feels to be treated differently once people find out that you can't drive. Even now that I am driving, I've told people about getting over it, and I have hoped that maybe they could reflect back some of that excitement and encouragement and compassion, and it's just not been there. So for some reason, admitting to a fear of driving really bothers and disturbs other people. And I want you to know that I understand and I care about you and I support you. And I don't think that having a fear of driving is any stranger than any other fear that anyone else has. Don't let people treat you otherwise. Don't take other people's comments to heart. The fear is not who you are. Soon enough, this is going to be something that you overcame. I forced myself to get my license when I was 21, but I was never, ever comfortable driving, and I only did it alone once, and that was just so anxiety-ridden. I tried asking for help from my family and my friends many, many times over the years, and they would help a little bit, but then they would give up. And I had to try to give myself a pep talk each and every time that I tried to drive. I was told by therapists that the more that I did it, the easier it would get, and it never did. So you're not crazy if you're still not feeling comfortable and you've been trying this for years. Your body is just set up to react that way because it thinks that it's protecting you. Each time I drove, it produced as much anxiety, if not more, no matter how well I'd driven the time before. So, you see, I am an expert on this anxiety, and I think that you're an expert on it too. We know what hasn't worked. We know what doesn't work. And I can now say that I've become an expert on getting rid of the fear because I don't have it anymore. So I want to help you by giving you just 3 tips. Okay, I will likely vlog more on this in the future, but for this one I just want to tell you about the 3 main things that I discovered that you need to do to fix this problem. 1, scrolling down. 1, you need to listen to a free audio program. I found this online and it entirely eliminated my fear. So easy peasy, we're probably in agreement here. You can listen to an audio. That's the easy part. 2, you need lessons, you need a license, and you need a car. If you already have a license, it's okay to take more lessons. I did, and it's actually fairly common for people with a license, people with a driving phobia to already have a license. So if you already have a license, you're a step ahead. If not, no worries, you're going to get there. Step 3, and this is after you've done the first 2 things. You really need to drive alone. And that's the scariest one for people, I think. It was for me. I know this sounds impossible right now where you're at, but I'm going to help you. Okay, so point 1. You need to listen to Joseph Clough's Complete Confidence Program. And I'll spell his name so that you can find him on the internet and on Facebook and Android. He's on iPhone apps. His name is Joseph Clough, Clough. I'll show you really quickly. Maybe not so quickly. This is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that. This is what I downloaded on my phone. He now has, I originally found his program online, but he now has his apps on iPhone and on Android. So that's an even easier way to find it. They're free. I've paid for expensive programs specifically for driving fear before, and they never helped me. I'm sure they helped other people. There's plenty of testimonials out there on other websites, but they didn't help me, and the one thing that did help me was this free program. So just download the audios on your phone, on your MP3 player, or on your computer, and listen to them. You do have to do the exercises if you want it to work. Just make sure that you have a pen and paper and you pause the audio when Joseph starts asking you questions, because you may come to discover that your fear may not be based at all on what you thought it was. I'm now absolutely convinced that all driving fear is due to a lack of confidence. So my lack of confidence with driving came down to some beliefs that I had about myself because of how I was treated as a kid. It just expressed itself as a fear. And some people, become alcoholics. Some people develop other issues. We have fears and phobias. So the thing that you have to understand is that you have this fear because your mind is taking care of you in the best way that it knows how, and it's protecting you. And you just have to help it figure out a better way. I don't want to be vague about it, but it's better if you just experience listening to the audios. Joseph uses a lot of coaching. He uses some hypnosis. He uses neurolinguistic programming. I still don't know entirely what makes it work like such a miracle, but it just does. All of my life, I've had to struggle with this. And it's strange, but getting rid of the anxiety itself was not a struggle. The stuff that I thought was the hard stuff was actually pretty easy. So, I've been to therapists. I'm telling you, you don't have to learn how to breathe through your anxiety. You don't have to learn how to stop all of your negative thoughts and turn them into positive thoughts. You don't have to do the whole cognitive behavioral thing where you do something 100 times until it feels better. You don't have to do that. You just listen to the audios, and then one day you just know that you can do it. And by the time I got through the fifth audio, I decided to get to my car and go drive around on side streets. So the thing is, a month earlier, this is what's so strange, a month earlier, I had been so petrified that I couldn't even move my car from one parking spot to another. And so that lets you know how huge my fear was, and it just evaporated with this program. Okay, so get the audio and absorb yourself in the exercises and answering Joseph's questions. And by the way, Joseph is English. So the accent and the way that he words things may be a little bit difficult for you to understand if you're American. Stick with it. He'll get easier to understand the more that you listen to him. And if you don't understand what he's saying, write it out and think about how an American would word it. So if it bothers you that he says learnings, replace it with lessons. Trust me, it'll be worth it. It may be a little bit hard in the beginning, but you'll get the hang of it. You'll get used to it, and you'll listen, and you'll be driving on your own before you know it. I know you, and right now you're mentally rejecting that, and it doesn't matter how doubtful you're feeling right now. Just listen to it. Okay. Point 2. You need a license, you need a car to practice in, and you need lessons. And here I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. If it's possible, ask someone who is supportive to practice with you. You need a car to drive so that you can work on driving when you want to. If you're a teenager and you're scared of driving, as much as you don't want to, you have to talk to your parents about practicing. Let them see your enthusiasm. You will have enthusiasm after listening to Joseph's program. So do that. If you're an adult and you don't have a car, you have to have one. You know this. If it's a money issue, scrimp and save until you can get one. If you have to have a friend go with you to a dealership to find a car, then do that. I got some strange reactions when I was looking for a car because I didn't drive. So you need to not allow yourself to care what anyone else says, and really, really pat yourself on the back for getting this done, because it's hard. I've been there. It's hard. Don't let anyone, don't think negatively about anything anyone says to you. If you're doing this, you're making your life better, and you have to stay positive. Don't let people get to you. Research cars online. I've seen places that actually will let you purchase a car online and will deliver it to you. So do whatever you have to do. You need a car to practice in. If you don't have a license, you have to take lessons until you get one. Don't give up on this. Point 3. After you've done the first 2, you need to use the confidence that you've gained to practice driving alone. And that's a big, scary word. I never thought I'd be able to drive alone, and yet Joseph's program made it possible. I still felt anxious, but it was a healthy anxiety. It was more like nervous anticipation. It was manageable, like other things that you feel nervous about, not the crippling anxiety that like turns you to stone and like petrifies you or turns you to jelly. It's not like that. It's a different kind of fear. So don't be afraid if you listen to it and you're still feeling a little nervous. You're going to notice that it's a different sort of nervousness. You'll know deep down that you can do this and that it's not the same feeling that you had before. So if you listen to Joseph's audios, you will have the self-confidence to get into the car and to drive by yourself if you have a license. If you don't, you'll have the confidence to drive with someone else and not care what they think, not absorb any of the criticisms that they have. I know a lot of you are, like me, perfectionists. That's also a huge part of your problem, not allowing yourself to make mistakes. Perfectionism does not serve you in this case. I want you to give yourself permission to be average. Okay? Give yourself permission to be only as good as a 16-year-old. I'm not the greatest driver. I make mistakes every day. I just don't dwell on them anymore. I never believed that it could be that way. But it's true. Having the self-confidence to just get out there and practice and giving myself permission to be average turned everything around. There are mistakes that I make, and I remind myself that I am essentially at the level of a 16-year-old driving with a couple of months experience. So I'm not going to be perfect, and that's okay. I may be nearly 40 and I'm riding with someone, I have someone riding with me and they don't know that I haven't been driving. They may think that I'm a bad driver, but I know what my measuring stick should be. So that is not perfection. My measuring stick is not perfection. I know that the 23 years that I was trying to do this should not be in vain. I'm telling you this because I believe that I can help you and that I want to see other people succeed. I need to know that this miracle that I've discovered is helping other people. So, get Joseph's Complete Confidence audio program, get a license, get a car, and get driving alone. Even if it's just one time around the block, you can do it. Leave comments below if you like. I'd love to hear your success stories. Right now, this is my very first vlog, but I'm thinking about breaking it down and doing more focused, specific ones, and I'm working on writing a book to help other people so that they can have a whole string of resources at their disposal. So let me know what you think. I'm sending you lots of love and emotional support, and I have absolute faith that you can do this. Talk to you soon. Happy driving.